You are now listening to AB on the Unpopular Opinion Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It is the late night edition of the Unpopular Opinion Sports Podcast. I'm your host, AB, and I got my boy Pat with me at BullCity Studios. We getting it in right now. The late night, y'all know what it is, man. We had to get this for y'all. Patrick Mahomes, my homeboy can buy me a home. He just signed a crazy deal, $500 million. And more details just keep coming out, man. We're going to give it to y'all right now. Let's go ahead and get into it, Pat. What's good, baby?
What's going on?
Let's
man?
Go, man. Let's go. So, hey, Patrick Mahomes, greatest football player I think I've ever seen in my life, man. Tell me a little bit about him and his contract, man. What's going on with this?
The Kansas City Chiefs might have shot themselves in the foot with this one.
Ooh, okay.
It's a great deal on Mahomes' part because, I mean, he's pretty much guaranteed to be rich, man, for the rest of his life. He's got $140 million in guaranteed money regardless of injury, regardless of anything.
Mm-hmm.
$500 million on the line if he can get this done.
God,
10 years, that's the most by any player. No NFL team even signs players to deals that long.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, isn't this a baseball contract? Like, in Madden, you can only sign the boys max 7 years. So I'm just like, 10 years? That's crazy. Go ahead. I'm going to let you rock.
Mahomes has showed that he's great. His talent is tremendous. It's hard to argue that. But when you look at a sport like football and signing a player to a contract with the longevity of such as 10 years, that's just not a smart investment because anything can happen to these players.
Yeah, I feel you. I think, in my opinion, I think it's a good deal on both sides. I think the Chiefs certainly, anytime you have a player like Mahomes locked up for as long as you do, it also attracts free agents too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that. So any receiver in the league will want to play with Patrick Mahomes. You can't find one receiver that wouldn't want to play with Patrick Mahomes right now. So you got him in his prime, in his youth right now. He's only, 24, 25 years old. So you got him, like I said, until he's about 35. So, you got him for these 2 years. I'm going to go down the list of numbers of, how much he gets, per year, basically, or at least until like 2026. So that's roughly 5 or 6 seasons. So 2020, he signed for $10.8 million. 2021, $22.8 million. Then it goes up to 29, then to 40. So that's the big jump in 2023. Then 2024, you got $38 million, $37.9, $41.9 million, and $41.9 million. It goes up to $59 million in 2027. Mm-hmm. So you looking at those chunk years that I just named between 2026 and 2020 right now. I think that's a good deal for Mahomes. I think that's a good deal for the Chiefs because you got to think that the salary cap is going to continue to move up as these years progress. Projectively, you know what I mean, for the NFL. So they will have more cap space as years go on, and you got your quarterback locked in.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I understand that, but just in a sport like football, I just don't think that's a smart investment.
Just the risk value.
This year, look at what happened. He's dislocated his knee.
He
did. Silly little play where it was a quarterback sneak. Now, if that happens again, and you've invested all of this money into him, and what if it's not just a dislocated knee? What if this time it's a torn ACL, torn MCL at the same time, and now his knee has to be restructured, and he's not going to be that same explosive player, but you still have to pay him.
Okay, so what would you have done then? Would you have waited? Because they could have waited until next year to pay him. Or, they had this year and then a player option the year following. So would you have waited? Because you don't want to make a player like Mahomes upset, I would even use, because if you're telling him, hey, I'm going to pay Chris Jones first, I'm going to play these other players first and not take care of you, what does that say to Patrick Mahomes, who just won the Super Bowl MVP for you, won you guys a ring, was the MVP last year, could have been the MVP this year had he not gotten hurt. So what are you saying to a player like that if you don't pay him right now?
I'm glad you mentioned the Chris Jones thing. Because that's a big point here. Chris Jones said he wouldn't play until he got his contract situation settled, right?
Yep.
His is more dire because Mahomes still has a whole another year left on top of Chris Jones.
Right.
So you should have went ahead and paid Chris Jones and got him settled in because you still have time to work on Mahomes and talk with his camp and get everything situated. So it wasn't as immediate an issue. And now that you paid him all that money, Chris Jones can be like, oh, you just gave him $50 million a year, and you think I'm about to take 17? I'm the best defensive tackle that y'all have seen through here ever.
Right. Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
It's tough in a situation like that. They might have shot themselves in the foot. Like Mahomes is making $10-15 million more dollars a year on a like average salary base than the next best quarterback at Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And last year, I don't really know how I feel about that MVP conversation because yes, he performed well, but his numbers dipped tremendously.
Yeah, they did.
Patrick Mahomes, last year he had 4,000 yards in 16 games. You know, that's still great.
Kept interceptions down and still had a lot of touchdowns.
I don't know about a lot because when you come in your first year starting, you come in with 50 touchdowns, you build this expectation. And he built that expectation, and once he built the expectation, he came back last year with 26. That is cut in half.
Yeah, but he only played, 11 games?
14 games.
Oh, okay, he played 14. Okay, he played 14. That's fair.
I don't like those numbers. I'm sorry. I know y'all probably love Patrick Mahomes. I feel like he's a great player as well, but I don't like those numbers. That dip is a bad sign for me.
Hey man, I still like his accuracy. I like what he's doing here. Look at what he's doing. He can roll out. He can run. You know what I mean? He can do a lot of things. Like he's the best quarterback we've ever seen. I think you have to take care of him. Like to me, he's the best quarterback I've seen, and I think a lot of people would agree. Like better than Brady, yes. Like he can do more than Brady, and he can make all the throws that Brady can make. So I like the security. I think you just gotta take it. Make sure you protect them. Make sure you build that offensive line. They have a pretty solid offensive line right now. Like there is some concerns with the defense because you still need your defense to hold up. But they still have Matthew. They still have key players that they can make some plays. Man, they got some young pass rushers, and the guy that they got from LSU, like I think last year or the year before that. So they still got Frank Clark. So they got some guys on the defensive end that can still make some things happen. And I do think they do got to take care of Chris Jones, too. If they don't, maybe they just take a lesser talent at that defensive tackle position.
But with their defense being as skeptical as it is, you can't afford that. Chris Jones allowed them to even be able to get to the Super Bowl and even win that. Because if you looked at their defense is lacking talent in every level of the ball. The secondary, the linebackers, and the defensive line. Chris Jones puts pressure on your quarterback. He's going to make sure he gets in your face. He even bats down balls, which is a very hard thing to do from that position while getting blocked.
That's a good point.
So that is why you have to pay him. And I just feel like they should have paid him before paying Patrick Mahomes because that just raised his price tag that much more because he knows how important he is to the team.
Right. And he got to, they got to make a decision now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what their cap situation is exactly as far as how much free money they have now, how much space they can do. But I like that they got him locked in. You had to take care of Mahomes. He's the most important player on your team. So, that's where I'm going with that. So that's gonna be it for us, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. We want to thank BullCity Studios for making all this happen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all can leave your comments below. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let us know, like. Do you think Mahomes should have got the money that he got? Do you think he should have got less? Do you think they should have took care of Chris Jones first or other players on that roster? Let us know, man. We will reply to all your messages. You know what I'm saying? We love the comments, so we love engaging with our fans. You can help donate, and with Patreon or Cash App below in the comments. We got the links down there. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in, like I said. And we up out of here, man. Let's get it.